Welcome to the Neurogenic Integration Podcast, where we explore the incredible potential of neurogenic tremoring beyond the basics. I'm Alex Green.
And I am Sylvia Song-Shields. Together, we'll be diving into how this natural, innate process can be seen and applied across different professions, healing modalities, and in scientific research.
Whether you're a practitioner, a coach, a therapist, a body worker, or a researcher, this podcast is for you.
Join us as we uncover the science, share experiences, and explore how neurogenic integration is revolutionizing the way we approach stress, trauma, and well-being.
So take a breath, get comfortable, and let's dive in. All right. Awesome. Welcome, everybody, to the Neurogenic Integration Podcast. I'm sitting down today with Jared Joy, and currently based in Louisiana, in the Deep South in the United States. But he's sometimes all over the place. We'll talk a little bit about that. Jared is a TRE provider. He went through the Redbeard TRE certification program somewhat recently, and so I got to know him first as a student, but then have stayed in touch with him as he's been off and running as a TRE provider. And I'll just share to the audience here what's always intrigued me about Jared is he came to TRE for, everybody who comes to neurogenic tremoring comes from their own path and for their own reasons. But Jared sort of came in with a very interesting background doing a lot of Qigong and Daoist practices and meditation work, and has had part of what we want to talk about today is how has his neurogenic tremoring practice informed, related, enhanced, expanded his explorations in the meditation world through Nondual meditation, Daoist practices, things like that. What I laughed about when I first met you, Jared, was that you're not the only one, and I had this phase back in my early days of tremoring as well. But you did some serious deep dives of some very extended, long practices. But you also paid a lot of attention to sort of how your nervous system was receiving that, what the effects were. So my hope today is just to have a wide-ranging conversation about kind of your personal journey with tremoring, how it's evolving as you've spent more time with it, and now you're, of course, sharing it with others. So, Jared, thanks so much for taking time to sit down for a conversation.
Thank you so much, Alex. Really appreciate the introduction. Yeah, so I have been doing Qigong, let's say it's 2026. So I started Qigong in early 2020, and it was a journey to get deeper. And I was in a partnership with a woman, so I wanted to be able to have a deeper connection with her and intimacy. So I started doing that, learning how to have better sexual connection, have better heart connection, have better connection in my spirit with the woman that I was with. And eventually I got into Qigong even deeper because I was like, how much deeper can I go? And so I went to study with my teacher's teacher. So my teacher in the beginning was Jonathan White. So he has a YouTube channel called Sexual Kung Fu, really beautiful channel. And his teacher is Michael Wen. So Michael Wen he's been doing Qigong since mid to late 70s teaching. And he started with Mantak Chia. And Mantak Chia is one of the original, the guys who kind of blasted Qigong into the Western world for all of us to understand. So it's been really beautiful. So I started this path of Qigong. So I'm 34 right now. So when I was 20, I had a really profound LSD trip. I wasn't trying to have a very intense LSD trip, but it was really intense. And I was playing baseball with my buddies that summer. And I had only tried cannabis before that, right? So my friends were like, hey, let's try this LSD thing, right? So I was listening to Alan Watts, listening to all the things about Buddhism and stuff. And I was like, oh, cool, let's try it out. And what it did for me was kind of just blast open my whole consciousness. It just blast open who I was. And I was like, this is so intense, right? So the whole 8 hours of my trip was just I was getting blasted by just images and just certain things in my past, memories, all kinds of stuff coming up to the surface, right? So that was my first real introduction to spirituality. And it was a week after this trip that I went on YouTube. This was 2012, right? So I went on YouTube and I listened to a guided meditation. It was like a 10, 15-minute meditation. And after I finished that meditation, life looked completely different. It was like I had an awakening. So my journey started in 2012, summer of 2012. And it's been a wild journey ever since. I started studying ancient yoga. So I had this really thick book called Yoga and Kriya.
I've seen that.
And
book.
it's
well,
like,
hang on a second. So let me pause you once in a while just for definitions. So
for sure.
So Qigong, so we'll come back to Qigong, I assume, but just for any listeners who, I think a lot of people know Tai Chi, Qigong, but just in case somebody's not from like what's the translation of Qigong? Like what would just be like a one sentence description of, and you're mentioning Mantak Chia, which I totally agree. He's the person who really put this on the map in the Western consciousness. But give just a short version of Qigong, just so listeners know what that practice is about.
Sure.
Yeah.
So Qigong is basic definition. It's the art of subtly moving your breath through your body. So it's the art of subtle breath, the skill of being able to move your breath. But how I describe Qigong is it's a way to enhance your life force. It's a way to feel super alive in your body and connected to your spirit, which lives in your body. So for me, it's not religious. It's non-denominational. And if you are religious, it can really connect you to whatever you're practicing, whatever you're following. And it's a really beautiful practice to basically just enhance your life force, which gives you physical health, emotional health, spiritual health. So that's kind of my definition of Qigong.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so now you got this big book, Yoga and Kriya. You're going to have to tell us what Kriya is. I know what it is.
Sure.
But we'll have
So it's like a 1,200 page book. It's orange, and Yoga and Kriya is essentially taking you through every aspect of yoga that existed since yoga existed. So the yoga we see in studios today is a very small portion of the amount of yoga that actually exists in the world, right? So you start with asanas, right, which is what you see in yoga studios today. And then you go into pranayama, you go into dharana, which is like focus, concentration. And
well,
then
hang on.
into
Pranayama's breath. So asanas, physical postures.
Yes. Pranayama's breath.
Pranayama's breath, and then dhyana, right?
And so you have dharana first. It's like very focused concentration. You can also use like the mala beads to go through different mantras, which is like things you would say to yourself to focus on each bead, right? To keep you into a very deep state of focus. And then you have dhyana, which essentially is meditation.
Right. And by the way, just because I have a Zen background, Zen Buddhist connection, dhyana is if I understand correctly, is the translation. The Sanskrit dhyana translates to Zen.
Beautiful.
Chan in Chinese and then Zen in Japanese. Yeah.
Cool. That's awesome.
Yeah. Okay, keep going.
Yeah. So you have dhyana, and then interlaced in this tradition, you have Kriya, right? So not all yoga had Kriya, but Kriya is a pretty significant part of it. So the Kriya is essentially being able to open up your spine, your nervous system, to be able to receive more powerful energy through your body so you feel more alive, right? So many traditions would call this energy the Kundalini. Some traditions would call it the Shakti. And all it is, this Kundalini, the Shakti, is a very powerful energy that is at the base of your spine that permeates through your whole body. And you feel extremely alive. You feel turned on by life from within, right? So I feel like we can jump into so many different categories here because this is such a hot topic. Yeah. But this is what I got into in my early 20s, right?
Okay.
And TRE actually plays a significant part of all the stuff I'm talking to you about right now, but we'll get into that in the future.
Get to that. We won't forget. We'll get to that. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is what I did in my early 20s, right? This is what I was really into. I was studying this for about like 6-7 years. I go in as deep as I can into it. I didn't have a teacher. I had a book, and that's what I followed. And I'm pretty good with books. So I like to read books and I like to follow things. And it was amazing. So let's fast forward, right?
Okay. Yep.
So I was living in a city called Mount Shasta, California. And really beautiful city, amazing people, like people with different ways of thinking, right? So you have people who love spirituality. and you have people that love hiking, because it has a really beautiful hiking scenery, right? So I was there with a woman, and I was living with her, and through this whole process, I was going deeper into my yoga at this time. And there was a set of circumstances where, sometimes you just go through life and certain things just aren't working for you. So like my yoga was not giving me the amazing feelings, that connection to my life that I was really wanting. So I dropped into Qigong during that time, and it was with my buddy. His name is Jonathan White. He's got the YouTube channel Sexual Kung Fu. So I dropped into that, bought his course, and I started following his whole course. And it helped me get really deeper into my intimacy with myself, with my partner. So during this time, I started going deeper into that. And then I was like, how much deeper can I go? So I had gone super deep with Yoga and Kriya, this book, right?
But wait, so just pause for a moment just to define deep a little bit. So, it sounds like you're the kind of person who, when you find something, you're kind of a diligent practicer. You're that kind of personality.
Indeed.
And so and you had gone a certain depth and then you're sort of looking for more. But when you say, okay, how much deeper can I go? I mean, how do you define that for yourself?
Okay, so for me, depth would be how much deeper can I go into my body, right? Because my spirit lives in my body, and the spirit is all around us, right? So I've always had this feeling, there's a very profound teaching. It's the kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of God is within you. So for me, like my body is my temple that I go into and I release tensions, I release traumas, I connect to deep emotions, and it starts to help me open up to my spirit, my aliveness, my breath, my life force. My chi, prana, all these different names for energy, right? So
sure.
That's what I mean, right?
Okay.
I wanted to go deeper into myself. And so yoga was not, it wasn't taking me there anymore.
Okay.
And at the same time, it wasn't taking me there. Qigong, boom, just popped. I think it was an ad I saw, right? And it's really funny because now Jonathan's my friend, right? So it was an ad that I saw, and I took his course, and it was amazing, right? It was teaching me how to go deeper into the earth through my feet, such as like grounding, learning these very esoteric practices that are very applicable to my life. And it was helping me to open up my body in brand new ways, right? So I take his course, and then I studied with his teacher, Michael Wen, who before had studied with Montauk Chia and he helped write Montauk Chia's first few books as well.
Okay.
Because Montauk was having a hard time understanding English at that time in the late 70s, early 80s, right? So I studied with Michael for many years, and I still do study with him. And I started to also study with Minka DeVos, who is she's like a German-Dutch teacher who lives in Canada, Vancouver. So her stuff is more feminine, right? Some more feminine Qigong, but her Qigong applies to everybody. It's really amazing, right? So started studying all these different things, amazing things. And it was amazing. It was great. It was beautiful. And a few years later, I came upon TRE, right? So here's my TRE path. This is before I met you, right? So my TRE journey has been amazing, right? So a few years ago, I'd gone through like a significant breakup in my life, and it was pretty intense. And a few years before that, I had been doing solo psychedelic sessions with myself, starting with small microdoses, nothing very intense, and then gradually taking steps to taking big doses, always keeping it very safe, right? And I had taken just one full hit of LSD at that time, and I laid down. I had some music on, had some incense, very safe environment for me, and I had a bunch of affirmations on my wall, like, "You are safe, just breathe." It's just breathe, get through this experience. So I had created parameters of safety in my room as I'm undergoing the ceremony with myself, because there's nobody to really undergo these ceremonies with, especially in the world today, right? So towards the end of this psychedelic session, I wouldn't say it was a bad trip, but it was extremely uncomfortable, right? Emotionally. I had just gone through that breakup. It was very uncomfortable. I was like, God, this is like so many intense emotions coming up. And I was using all of my practices, like the inner smile, being able to smile to my emotions, the 6 healing sounds, all these Qigong practices to be able to start releasing emotions, right? Doing different breath work to connect and actually feel and help the emotion come out. But nothing was really grinding the gears here. So I was I was like, what do I do? So I opened up Google on my phone. This is towards the end of my session. I opened up Google, and I keyword searched how to release trauma, right? And it just came up, a video on TRE. It's called Trauma Releasing Exercises. I'd never heard of it in my life. So I click on the video, and the lady is speaking. She's speaking a whole lot, so I have to get through a bunch of speaking. And finally, I get to the warm-ups. And with traditional TRE, with full-blown TRE, there's like 7 warm-ups, right? So she gives me 2 warm-ups. So I'll do these 2 warm-ups. And mind you, I'm towards the end of an LSD session, so I'm still
Right.
I'm still
You're
in
a
the
little bit.
psychedelic
You're
phase.
still in the medicine a little bit. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is towards the end of the session, and I'm doing these warm-ups on the floor, right? I'm doing wall sits. I'm on the floor. I'm doing everything. I'm following a video on my iPhone, and then she's like, "Okay, lay on the floor." So we lay on the floor. We do the final warm-up, and then after the final warm-up, she starts to instruct into starting to close the legs, right? So I start to close the legs, and then I start getting these tremors, right? These shakes. And at first, like, because I'm undergoing this medicine, I'm completely surrendered to the experience and in many instances. So my shaking is very intense.
Yeah.
And the shaking keeps happening, and I just start laughing because it feels so good, right? It feels like I'm being tickled from within my body. And it's like, what is going on? Like, I'm feeling new feelings in my body, and I'm feeling a brand new connection to my body. And it's like, this is intense. And so after the laughter come very intense tears. So start crying a whole bunch. I'm like, this is amazing, right? So get into these deep tears, start crying.
Yeah.
And then I'm doing this for like 30 minutes to an hour. The video is long gone, right? And because I'm just loving the experience, it feels so good.
Yeah.
It's like so deep, so juicy, so thick of like peace and safety. And that's where I'm getting at today, is like the experience of peace and safety is why I'm here. And what's really amazing is I was able to go through this so-called bad trip, right? This so-called extreme discomfort, and just transmute it into safety, into a feeling of tranquility in my body that was like, it just blew my mind.
Yeah.
So the following day,
Yeah.
after my LSD session,
Well, wait. Hang on a second. What year
yeah.
was this about? Like, when was this approximately?
this was 2024, right? So this
Okay.
was like summer
Okay.
2024.
Yep.
And yeah, so this was 2 years ago, right?
Okay.
Almost 2 years
Yep.
ago.
Yep.
And the day after this experience, I open up Reddit, right? So I'm trying to find everything I can about TRE because I'm fascinated, right? I've done yoga, done meditation, I've done Qigong. And what TRE gave me was something I had never found with all these experiences. And of course I found it a little bit, but there's something very unique about TRE that for me nothing I've ever done connected to it. So the next day I look up TRE on Reddit. I go deep, I dive deep. I read almost all the articles as much as I can. And then I do TRE.
Because
for
there's a
another
very,
hour.
very active community on the
So much.
long-term TRE
Long-term TRE.
subreddit. Right, exactly. Yeah.
And their main thing is that if you do TRE for a year, multiple years, right, you can release all tension, all trauma from your body. And then after you release all this, you can go deeper into your meditation, your spiritual practices, and your spiritual practice will have like a 10x effect because you've released so much tension from the body. We'll go into that later. But I did TRE again for another hour. And again, deep safety, deep peace, and I was hooked. So after that experience, I started practicing for many months after that. I even taught a huge group of people before I actually was actually done the teacher training. So I taught my friends, my family, everybody that I knew TRE because it was so amazing, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of my journey and where I'm at with this experience right now.
Incredible. Well, okay. Well, all right. That's a beautiful capture.
Yeah.
And that's cool because I've heard some of this, but not all linked together. The whole sort of story like that. Okay. Well, so I have a bunch more questions. Can I fire questions at you?
Yeah, go forth.
Well, so you found it. You already had pretty deep experience with yoga, qigong, breath work. So very much embodied experience, meditation. I assume as well. Something was different about TRE. It gave you this peace feeling immediately, but these early sessions. So, What if we focus on sort of like, I don't know, I'm going to pick an arbitrary time period, maybe 3 months or 6 months, like your initial period of doing it a lot, maybe daily or however often you were doing it in
Right.
when it was, before you joined the certification program, et cetera, when it was purely just a personal practice. I think 3 months is a good number. Like, what was that first 3 months like? What kept you going to it? Was it what was changing? What was that period of time like, as best you remember?
Yeah, Alex, I that's a really great question. So what those first 3 months for me of TRE were, it was almost like I was going as deep as I could into my body, right? Now that may seem really weird and odd, but I'm going to explain. So I felt more in my body. I felt more alive. I felt more energy, and I felt less anxiety. I felt like a very strong sense of innate joy coming online for me. I had been doing yoga. I had been doing Qigong. I had been doing meditation, all this stuff. So I had a framework of different spiritual practices, different energy practices that I've been doing for the past decade.
Sure.
So once I landed into TRE, it just like exploded. It was like all the knowledge that I had, like this mental knowledge of spirituality, everything became felt in my body. So the first 3 months of TRE were like, it was such an opening. It was such a release of fight or flight responses I've had stuck in my body since birth. It was such a release of survival patterns that didn't feel good in my body. So what I first noticed those first 3 months is a deepening of my breath. And I've told this to so many of my friends. One of my friends, he's a breathwork instructor. His name is Calvin. I told him, I said, hey, what I'm noticing about TRE is that I'm getting my breath back. And he's like, what are you talking about, right? As I started to do more and more TRE, I could feel my body breathing. And it was like I was getting more energy. I was getting more life force. It was all that old breath that was stuck in shock, panic, trauma was now coming back to me. And I felt younger. I felt rejuvenated. I had more passion, had more drive, had more energy. And it started giving me like an awakening. I felt more myself. And I've taught TRE to so many people. I'm going to digress a little bit, but I've taught TRE to so many people. And the one thing that people tell me the most is I feel more myself, right? And instead of like playing a character in life, like, oh, I got to play this character. I got to talk this way. I got to speak this way. Oh, with this person, I got to speak this way. And it's like, when you start doing TRE, it allows you to let go of the character and allow you just to be presence, being, nowness. So my meditation, boom, everything was just unlocked. Everything became easier. My Qigong became easier. My breathing, my breath work became easier. My meditation was like, it was open. It was like, and I was like, I can be present without trying. It was so beautiful. So my first 3 months, very beautiful, very amazing. And I felt like I had just had a rebirth in a certain sense, which was remarkable and amazing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Well, okay. But I remember one phase when we were in certification, which takes, close to a year from start to finish. And I remember one phase of your practice because, when we first got started, you're doing still quite a bit, often doing, an hour or two, sometimes maybe more daily.
Yes.
With a lot of, these benefits you're naming. And obviously your system was, for some people that would be way, way, way too much. So of course, any listeners, it's not like everybody should be, TRE is not one size fits all. For some people, it's just everybody's quite different. But for you personally, having that phase of, quite long sessions, your body, mind, nervous system, chakra system, was basically saying yes to that. And, you received a lot of these benefits that you're naming. But I remember a phase of our learning when you told me or the group, I can't remember if it was in class, and you shared something like that you were trying something new, which was you were pausing more frequently, pausing for integration. This was a little bit newer, and there were some benefits you were getting from adjusting your practice that way. Do you remember that, what I'm talking about, and could you speak to it a little bit?
So my question to you is, are you speaking about me pausing during my TRE session, or pausing between how many times I practice TRE, like per day, or taking a break between weeks? Or?
Right. I can't remember anymore. I thought it might have been about pausing inside your session, but it might have been but it might have been about slowing down. I can't remember.
Sure.
But is that true? Have you experimented with how much you're doing, how much pausing, how much in between? Have you had phases of experimentation like that?
I have phases of both. So I have phases inside of the TRE session itself when I'm on the floor.
Yeah.
And I have phases of pausing how many times I actually do TRE, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So like taking a week off, taking a month off.
Yeah.
And so let's go inside the session, right? So when I pause inside my TRE session, it's kind of like when I'm at the gym trying to get a pump and I got some weights and I'm trying to get ripped, right? So I'm lifting weights, I'm lifting hard. If I lift for 1 hour straight, like I'm going to have no energy. So I'm not going to have any energy for my workout, right? So it's just, there's no point. It's useless. Right? So you take break between how much you're lifting. Okay, do like one set, take a break.
Yep.
Another set, take a break. Another set, take a break. So when I first started TRE, I was doing like a 3-hour please don't do this at home. So like I'm like a guinea pig for a lot of things, psychedelics with TRE. Don't do this at home because it can bring up a lot of things, and your body may say yes to it, but you have to find that out yourself, right? So this is anyway.
Yeah.
So I'll do 3-hour sessions, 2-hour sessions.
Yeah.
And I will keep going, and I just wouldn't stop.
Yeah.
And eventually you had come into the training, right? Where it's like, hey, let's do some TRE and let's take a break, right? And it was new to me. Mm-hmm. And so we're doing a training together. You're like, hey, let's take a break between this session. I'm like, oh, this actually feels amazing, right? And then I went back when I was training with you. You had instructed us to go back into the TRE, go back into it. And I was like, this feels amazing. It feels more powerful. And so I loved it. And it's been great to be able to do TRE. So I'll do TRE for like, let's say 5-10 minutes, take a break, and then wait until my body is just feeling so peaceful, so safe. And then boom, do it again. And then boom. So in addition to what you taught me, I feel it's equally as important is after a session to just lay down for the amount of time that you do TRE. Like let's say you do TRE for 20 minutes of shaking, then 20 minutes of lying down.
Of integration
if you can do double,
at the end. Yeah,
at the end.
Yeah, like a meditation or sort of.
But yes, and I almost find that TRE itself, after you finish doing it and you lie down for 20 minutes, or double the time in which you've done TRE, so let's say 40 minutes if you've done 20, just lying down, it's almost like your body knows how to meditate. Yeah. It's a really strange thing with TRE. It's like the body knows
like you don't have to consciously do anything.
You don't have to try.
It's happening. Yeah.
And this is the medicine of TRE that I find so beautiful, right? And when I started meditation, I was 20. I had just started all this practice. I just started all this stuff, and I was really fresh. My body was full of tension, right? So as I was getting into meditation, I was full of tension, and it was like I had to go through this tension to get to a meditative state, right? So when I teach people TRE, it's like I'm teaching them TRE, and they're shaking, and then I take them through like a really short body scan meditation, feeling all parts of the body, and they drop into a meditation state like it's nobody's problem, right? So they drop into the state, and they're just like, I can't believe I got into this meditation state. Sometimes it's so difficult for me. So what's amazing about TRE is it'll drop you into a meditative state, right? Meditative state meaning a deep state of relaxation where your body can digest and it can just go into a deeper state of meditation, right? And that is the medicine of TRE, is that this has really been what I've been wanting to talk about this whole time is TRE. You start at a state of relaxation that you already have in your life, right? This is where you're starting. You just started your TRE journey. As you start doing more and more TRE, your permanent state of relaxation will start to get deeper and deeper and deeper, right? And it starts to be, it starts to give like it's a permanent state of relaxation, which
Okay,
is
well,
like
so let me
amazing.
share. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so let me share something quick because you'll like this because I don't think we've had this conversation. But okay, you know the polyvagal curve, right? You know we talk about it, right? There's sort of like there's the baseline, and then there's sympathetic arousal, and then there's freeze immobilization at the top,
Yes.
right? We use that as to understand the stress states of the nervous system, and one of the goals of TRE is to bring us back to that our baseline ventral vagal physiology.
Indeed.
But a concept, and David lectures on this sometimes. Maybe you've seen it on YouTube or something. But he started sort of lecturing about, okay, well, but what's beneath the curve? Like, so you've got your baseline. Well, could you lower your baseline? Like, what happens when you not only restore neutral, or
Right.
but can you actually deepen that baseline? Which I in my own experience too, before I came into the TRE world, also, like you in my 20s, big interest in Zen meditation, Japanese martial arts as a connected to meditation, so exploring. And for me, also like you, TRE really opened up things that were sort of took what I had already practiced and learned, and it actually allowed it to sink in more fully into
Yeah.
my body, mind, and nervous system. So I totally, but that idea of, and I think that, my view of meditative practices, Qigong practices, different traditions, a lot of it is about exploring, learning, finding more depth within ourselves.
Right.
But I think you and I agree on this. The modern world is such that a lot of people are hanging out in unresolved stress, or that's almost like step one is, can you kind of get to a reasonably functional calm state? And that's not an ending point. Sort of the purpose of many practices is to potentially find increasingly deeper experiences of your body, your spirituality, whatever language that we might be using. But anyway, so I love your description of kind of coming, dropping the
beautiful.
baseline even further.
Yeah, thank you for going deep into the description of that whole polyvagal theory. And it is, like, for me, when I started my TRE journey, I felt like I've seen myself, right, try so many different things, right? And I've tried ice baths, right? I've done saunas, I've done exercise, I've gone to the gym, lifted weights, I've done long runs, lots of yoga, lots of meditation, lots of Qigong. And sometimes morning sessions take about 2 to 3 hours, right? To like get into this really amazing state, right? Really amazing, really relaxed state, just feeling like purely yourself at the finest sense, all right? So sometimes this is really time inducing, right? And there's a huge culture. It's a huge biohacking culture. Biohacking is it's a broad term, but it's the culture on how to be your best self, right? How to be your best self, how to improve yourself, how to evolve yourself. It's a really broad term. So what I love about TRE is what we're just talking about, is being able to deepen your parasympathetic state, being able to deepen your permanent state of relaxation, right? And being able to get into the parasympathetic and get all the way down. And how much deeper can your state go to where you are embodying a profound state of relaxation, right? And so you're embodying this state of relaxation. And even if you go into the world and experience fight or flight responses that are very intense and jarring, your ability to get back into the state of relaxation is much easier, right? It's a part of you that already knows it.
Yeah.
So again, what I love about TRE is that it allows me to get into this permanent state of relaxation and get it deeper and deeper, to where I don't need all these other biohacking things to feel good, right? But now I'm using these things to add to my life in a very beautiful way, because I wake up, I feel full of energy now. I wake up, I feel full of energy. I'm ready to go for a run immediately when I wake up. So it's something about TRE has not only given me a lot of peace, but it has increased my life force tremendously. So now I can go run 5 miles and it feels like I'm not even trying. I can go to the gym, work out, feels like I'm not even trying. There's something unique about TRE, especially for me, that has given me such a increase in my aliveness. increase in who I am as a human being. And I find it to be, it has so many applications, it's unbelievable, which is so great, right?
Amazing.
So good.
Well, okay. I mean, it's so inspiring hearing kind of what you've discovered. I mean, what a testimony to, yeah. I mean,
Yes.
So here's my question. So because for you as the N of one, I mean, it's just been a massive success. You know, and what I like about you so much is that you start here. It's like, I want to take this all the way in this person.
Sure.
So that's so cool because you've really pushed, you've really explored very, very deeply with it, and your other practices. And now, I mean, you know, you're also quite. I've always said, okay, you're going to be like the Pied Piper of. Well, luckily we have many Pied. I mean, I think David he's the OG Pied Piper of TRE. You know, in terms of how. But to me, actually, what really does propagate TRE in general is people who are enthusiastic, you know, people like you who are just like, holy moly, I have to share this with people. And so, you know, you've been doing that with, you know, informally, and then now you're certified, and so formally now as a certification or as a provider, as a TRE provider.
Right.
So now you have your own personal experience. That's the N of one, but you've also shared this with many other people. So what are you learning from the people that you've shared this with?
Right. So, I've shared this with a wide spectrum of people, and I think this is with everything, right? If we want to change, then we will see changes happen in our life, right? So TRE is amazing in that it can start bringing amazing changes in our life and in our body, right? And it can make things happen with effortlessness, with ease and grace. I've taught this to men. I've taught this to women. I've seen people have greater connections to their intimacy, to their sexual energy. They feel like, I can last a lot longer in bed. I feel more relaxed with my partner. My connection to my partner is so much more deep. I feel more present with my partner. My relationship would be communicated way better. So relationships can be significantly improved with TRE. Also, the big thing about TRE is safety, right? So women start feeling more safe in their body, which is huge. When women feel safe, it's incredible. It's very beautiful. And so I've taught this to women that have had chronic nightmares. I've taught this to women that have had experiences where they do not feel safe around men. And it's really beautiful because I had one friend I taught this. She had chronic nightmares from a very traumatic incident in her life where a really extreme trauma happened where she was driving a car, and so some person just boom, you know, walked into the street while she was driving, and the person was on some really hardcore drugs.
I see.
And for and the person passed away, right?
Yeah.
But for my friend, it was an extreme trauma.
Yeah.
You know, hitting somebody.
Right.
That was somebody who was drug induced, walked into the street, and you hit this person.
Right.
And then this person passes away, like huge trauma.
Right.
So my friend had nightmares, like for 5 years straight. So she had to see a therapist once a week.
Yeah.
To be able to get this stuff out of her mind, out of her life.
Sure.
Right. Having to use substances like alcohol to be able to fall asleep. It's not always amazing. It's not a great life.
Right.
So when I taught her this practice of TRE, she was able to, boom, just release that. And she had done this for a month or two straight, 3 times a week, 15 minutes each day, 3 times a week, and boom, all of her nightmares are gone.
Wow.
The other girl that I taught, she was feeling really unsafe around men. She felt like, why are men doing this to me? Why do they treat me this way? Why do I feel this way? And I said, hey, why don't you come over to my house and I'll just show you some TRE. So she came over, I showed her, and within a month or two, she found like the partner she's been with for more than a year. And they have such a solid communication, beautiful relationship, and it's pretty inspiring. I also taught her some Qigong, right? So there was some TRE, some really beautiful alchemical Qigong that I taught her. So she had a profound change in her life. And this TRE is really deep. It's amazing. And it is also wide in the spectrum as to what it can do for people. So like, I'll give you an example. One of my buddies, he's like a men's coach, teaches men how to really feel connected to their body. I taught him some TRE, and for him, the biggest thing was he felt so much more present with his partner. And he felt more present not only, during sexual connection, but he felt present from day-to-day life. And he feels like he has more energy. He feels like he can come home from work and do TRE, and he feels like he can just relax into his sleep. So sleep, relationship, career, being able to feel safe in the world, being able to feel relaxed in what you're doing, like these are huge, right? And I feel that I've taught many people TRE. I've seen people release traumas just on the first go of doing TRE. And I've seen people not shake at all, right? And that's only happened one time, right? But what I really feel about the way to make TRE very, very powerful is if we are open to change our life, right? Instead of looking at TRE like another pharmaceutical pill, right? That we're going to take and it's just going to do all the wonders for us.
Right.
I strongly feel, especially with all the stuff that we're doing, meditation, TRE, psychedelics, there is a certain element of taking responsibility for one's life.
Right.
So I take responsibility for my change, my growth, and my evolution. If those are in order, then TRE will absolutely do wonders for you. But the magic of TRE is that it can start to get through resistance to change. And it's really beautiful in that it's almost like a medicine for the nervous system to help us get through things, right? And really start to evolve in really beautiful ways. It's amazing.
That's a good description. I like that. Medicine for the nervous system.
Medicine,
to help us
big
move
time.
there. I love that. Okay, let me pause for a second. I got to reflect. So yeah, I love that's all awesome. How are you? Are you teaching in lots of formats? Like, are you doing a lot online? Are you doing a lot in person? Are you doing a lot of groups? Like, what formats are you doing a lot of this with now?
So, for the past year, I've had a pretty close group. For the past year, I wanted to do 1 year of our close group of friends and friends of friends, and we had this really beautiful group of people that I've been teaching TRE and Qigong to for the past 12 months.
Yeah.
So it was 3 days a week, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays for an hour each day, right? And we've been doing that for 1 year straight, teaching them really deep Qigong, very spiritual types, and TRE, right? And seeing how can this create change in a person's life. So the whole year has been amazing. I've seen some people have some really big awakenings, feelings of greater energy, better sleep, better connection to their spiritual world, or however people feel that connects them to, right? So it's been really beautiful. So I've been teaching this small group of people, and I've been teaching everybody that I meet TRE. And for me, this past year, and ever since getting my certification, I've just been teaching as many people as I can teach. Anybody who's open to learn, I'm just teaching. So right now I'm open to taking one-on-one sessions. I'll give my link tree later. And so that's what I like to do. And eventually I would love to teach like maybe some war veterans. That'd be amazing to teach them and to see how much change can come about just helping them release some things in their body. So I'm open. I'm
cool.
I'm open for opportunity. Yeah.
Well, so a month or two ago, you emailed me, and you and I have had a few conversations just around, your interest in sort of going further into, okay, well, yeah, trauma, TRE is great for trauma, it's great for stress,
Amazing.
all good stuff, but also for you personally, it's like, hey, this is a major catalyst for meditative practices, Qigong, inner growth, spirituality, things like that. And so, I said, well, there's people, besides me, there's other people you should connect with, potentially other people, like I think of Christina Guimond. She's in Montreal. She's a person who with a deep Vipassana background who's done some podcasts, and she's had an interest in studying this relationship between TRE and meditation. And then another woman in Australia, Tree Wiseblood, has similarly, like that's kind of one of her areas of focus is around TRE and the spiritual experience or
Sure.
meditative experience. I'm curious if you've been able to talk with anybody else besides your own personal, anybody else. Have you networked yet in the bigger TRE world? That's my question.
Yeah, so I had initially emailed you about this, right?
Yeah.
and you connected me to Tree,
Yeah.
who I emailed, right? And so I emailed her, and she gave me such a wonderful description of like TRE and non-dual meditation.
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to take the esoterics out of this. So non-dual meditation is a way to feel oneness with all of life and the way to feel connected to everything, right? Really beautiful. It's a very like basic description of it.
Yeah.
And so Tree was able to give me like insights as to, as you start getting deeper into TRE, you're going to get deeper and deeper into your body, right? You're going to have deeper awakening. You might have a head awakening, right? You might have a heart awakening. You might have a belly awakening. And each of these awakenings will allow you to feel much more grounded and rooted in your body, which is amazing, right? Because I've just got this book. I want to share you with this book. So this is a really beautiful book right here. Mm-hmm. The Direct Means to Eternal Bliss, right? So super short book. And the book, it has one meditation technique that just blows my mind. And the meditation technique, it's a really old technique. It's not something that we're like sharing that's going to evolve meditation. It's really just being able to become aware of your awareness, being conscious of your consciousness, being able to see the seer, the one that sees the thoughts, the feelings, the emotions, turning it around and looking directly at that, right? So this is a very deep non-dual meditation. And one Indian sage, his name is Ramana Maharshi, right? Very famous for non-dual meditation.
Right.
And one of the deepest mantras, meditations, like inquiries that he had was asking yourself, who am I? Right? Who am I?
Yeah.
Like if I don't live, if my body doesn't live forever, my mind doesn't live forever, then who am I? Right? And so being able to go and become aware of your awareness and asking yourself, who am I? It leads to a very beautiful, like stillness meditation. That's amazing. So the main question I had for Tree was, I'm reading all these non-dual teachers from 100, 200 years ago, and they keep telling me to let go of my body. Let go of your body. Let go of your body. Don't worry about your body. But the deeper I get into TRE, the deeper I get into my body. And the deeper I get into TRE, the deeper states of meditation I spontaneously get into. And it was like a paradox for me. So she was able to explain like for me, like I don't want to go into the Himalayan mountains or run off. And I want to live in the world. I want to connect with people. I want to be able to share things with people that can help benefit their lives, small or great, right? So Tree was able to share like, as you go deeper into TRE, deeper into meditation, these non-dual meditations, you're able to have awakenings in your body that help you start having more energy in certain centers of your body that you're able to share with the world, right? And as you start deepening into your body, you start deepening your desire to help others. So that was really beautiful for me because, and I had that intuitively in my head.
Yeah.
But it's also good to see certain paths starting to blend. These really deep meditation paths, which tell you to run away into the mountains, right? And starting to blend the body as well. Because I'm on this earth, I want to live in my body. I'm here with a body, so I'm not wanting to leave my body. I wanted to get into my body. The kingdom of heaven is within you, within the body. So how much deeper can I go into the body with yoga, Qigong, meditation, TRE, psychedelics, if that's optional, right? But how can we go into the body and start to have insights that we can share with others to make the world a better place? And this is the journey that I'm on. Right? It's beautiful.
Amazing. So cool. I'm really glad you connected with Tree. She's wonderful.
Yeah, she's great.
She led a workshop for neurogenic integration maybe in winter time or around winter time, which was lovely. And I interviewed her once, and that was a lovely conversation. But I especially loved to see it. Of course, in 2 hours, of course, it's going to be very introductory. But she just she did a beautiful job describing how this has been meaningful for her, and then sharing some of her practices. So it was really great to see that from her.
Amazing.
Next up right now is that now I'm going to make a pitch to you. So I want I want you to share a 2-hour workshop with the neurogenic integration community. Same thing, like where you just I mean, that format, it's 1 or 2 times a month we do these special guest workshops. And really the intention of it is people to share kind of what brings TRE alive for them personally. For some people that involves
Sure.
dance. For some people, it involves heart or whatever the case may be. But I would, as I listen to you today, I'm thinking I would really love to see how Jared would lead a 2-hour journey that's about what you've learned, and then sharing it with others. So I don't know. What do you think? Is it a yes? Will you
Yeah,
join?
I'm totally open.
Okay.
For sure.
Good.
Yeah.
We'll get that on the calendar. Awesome. Well, yeah. Well, so check in for a moment. See if there's anything you feel like we haven't touched upon, or something you'd want to share, or maybe like people who are a little bit newer to TRE, and maybe what what you think people should know or be open to, or just see if there's any kind of closing comments that feel good for you.
Alex, I've tried a lot of things, and I just want the world to just feel safer, right? Inside and out. Because we live in a world where people don't feel safe. And I'm saying this in the context because a lot of people, there's a lot of anxiety, there's a lot of depression, there's a lot of emotional pain in the world that just keeps on going for generation after generation, right? So, and also people feel overwhelmed with the amount of information out there. Like, sometimes people see so much information, they're like, I don't even know where to begin. And so people get overwhelmed, right? And I really feel that TRE has an amazing ability to help that overwhelm become more relaxed and more peaceful. To take that overwhelm and allow people to get into a state where they can think more freely. They can feel more freely. They feel safe to feel things they haven't felt in a long time, right? And TRE is amazing in that it helps people to open up emotionally to things that may be in their body that they really need to feel. They really need to process. And once processed, they have more energy to explore other options. They have more clarity to see like what is for them, right? So TRE is amazing for people that are religious and non-religious. It's amazing for all spiritual types, and that it brings you closer to your core self. It brings you closer to like the feeling of relaxation that all of us are looking for in whatever we're doing. So I really feel that TRE can really be beneficial for almost everybody on the planet to start to relax into their self, feel more themselves, and be better lovers, husbands, wives, mothers, daughters, sisters, everything. And to be able to live with authenticity and live with a feeling of, I feel good in my body, right? Because that's what we want, big time.
Cool. Well, awesome. Well, Jared, I think you're I really like the way you describe these things. That you have a gift for, I don't know, conveying the magic of things. I mean, everybody's going to put it into different words, but I really like and resonate with the way that you describe things. So to me, it felt really important to capture this conversation. So big gratitude to you. We'll definitely put all your contact information, links, etc. That'll all be in the show note description, all things like that. So people listening, definitely, Jared's a cool guy just to connect with. Do that. We'll hope. He said yes to guest teaching on the soon for neurogenic integration. So we'll bring him in for a workshop as soon as we can schedule that. So super awesome. Really appreciated taking time for this conversation.
Awesome.
That's it for today's episode. We hope you found inspiration and new insights into the power of neurogenic tremoring.
If you enjoyed this conversation, make sure to subscribe, share, and leave a review. It really helps us reach more people interested in this transformative work.
And if you want to dive deeper, connect with us. Or to learn more about our sessions, courses, and upcoming trainings, head over to neurogenicintegration.com.